So with this video here, I'm going to look at texturing the axe. I've exported the UVs and I've already started here. If I turn off that top layer, you can see my axe. Now, I'm really terrible at this kind of stuff, so don't get too disappointed when it doesn't look great when we put it back in. And from here, what we're going to do is I've kind of boxed out this area behind it. Doesn't really matter, I should have done the whole thing and then just drawn over these. But generated some clouds in here, so effect render clouds with a kind of a blue hue, and then noise over that. I added noise. The kind of noise that I added had no color saturation, little intensity, full coverage, and then did some blurs, did some painting around here. It probably won't turn out looking any good, but let's just finish it up from here anyway. So for this part here, of this whole area here, make sure I'm on layer 2. I could even just create a new layer for this. I'm going to fill this area with a kind of a silvery color, so I'll just grab that there, and then paint bucket, fill that. From here, I'm going to go noise, add noise, turn the color saturation down, turn that intensity down to about there, and then effects, blurs, not fragment, effects, blurs, Gaussian blur. I don't want to do it too much, just a little bit like that. Okay, so that's done, because I don't want the edges to be really transparent. On here though, I'm just going to zoom in, because this is the central part of the weapon, and this part here especially gets seen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a brush. I'm going to make it quite a decent size. No, that's too big. Maybe about size 10 actually. Cool. And a dark color here. And I'm going to put one bolt there, and one bolt there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. Now that looks a bit rubbish at the moment, so I'm going to turn this brush size down to about 7 and just make that a little bit lighter. Oops, click more. Bring that in so it's a bit lighter, and click in the bottom left of each of these. Okay, then I'll zoom in. You don't need to paint all this stuff yourself. There's plenty of textures out there that you can find. I'm just doing this as an example. I'm going to turn it down to size 1 and pick almost black, and then just draw around this outside here like that on there. On all of them. And then almost white. Just going to put some highlights on that side there. Okay. Zoom out, and it looks boltish. It's okay. That's fine. In here, I'm going to start painting some of this area, and I'll use quite a big brush for this. I'm just going to do this part quite quickly. I'll want to paint with, I'll select this color here. That's fine, and I'll make it more opaque. Probably even, oops, I'll turn it all the way down. Yeah, that's good there. Okay, make the paintbrush smaller, and I'm just basically going to go around this whole edge here. Just like that. lightening it up. Now this is essentially the equivalent of the dodge tool in Photoshop. So I'll turn that top layer off. And then I'll make it a bit smaller and a bit less opaque and just run it along this area here. Oh, that looks hideous. Turn the hardness of the brush down. Just going to run it along here as best as I can. It's not a big deal, it doesn't matter. Okay, grab some, do the same thing on the other side, except I'm just going to grab this area here and hold Alt to subtract that area and subtract that area up there. Duplicate it, so Control C, Control V, flick it over here and flip it up the other way, and then also reverse it. I don't want to overlap that bit at the top, so I'll just bring that down. Yeah, that's good, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I've done that bit there. I'll make a new layer now and deselect all that. I'll do all these bits over here. Just going to do this really quick. So I'll just make a new layer and I'll fill the whole thing, except I want it to be a reddish brown, so brown red, brown foreground, red background, effects, render, clouds. Scale, I'll bring that in, roughness, doesn't matter, and click OK, and then effects. Actually, I might make this really obvious, so I'll just undo that. I'll have a brown and a really light brown for the second color, which I'll make by bringing that down to there. It's almost orange, that's alright. Okay, effects, render. Okay, then effects, blurs, motion blur. I'm going to do it this way. 0. Click OK. And it looks like most of these are around the wrong way, so I'll just rotate the entire thing. Control A, minus, minus, minus. Rotate the whole thing like that. Put it behind all the other layers, and that should do. Okay, so I mean, you can spend more time texturing this, but it's not going to do much for you in this case here. I mean, I will do one thing just to make it a bit more interesting. Just behind this area here, and I think this area here, I should do something different, but let's see. If I go and grab that, and then I'll grab this area here. Okay, and I'll just do it on this layer. So effects, let's see what these will do up here. Just render those clouds again, but we'll do it in bright red and orange. Render clouds, that's okay. Effects, blurs, I'll do a fragmented blur this time, and I'll just click OK, and that should just give it something different. So I'll turn off that top layer like that. That's going to look hideous when I put it in here. Save as, and I'll save it as PNG. And save. It's going to ask me to replace it. No, I don't want to replace it. Axe to texture. And click OK. It'll say to flatten it, and it will. If you want to get it back though, you have to hit Control Z. That'll bring those back if you're saving it for any reason. So now I go into Blender and image, open image, Axe to texture. That's done there. Turn on the texture. Ooh, that's a mistake up there. That's pretty bad, but you can see how it works. Okay, so I mean, you'd want to take some more time arranging this so that the wood grain ran the right way. At least those bolts look like bolts there. The axe blade looks absolutely awful. You'd want to get real texture. That looks terrible around there. That side doesn't look too bad, but it doesn't look as good as it could. Okay, so that's a very, very simple texture. I've made some mistakes on it, but that's how it works. So you should probably spend a bit of time figuring out how to get yours perfect. Or at least a lot better than mine is with these bright orange handly bits here. Put some actual textures on it, some leather there, wood grain up here, especially not wood grain running that way, but wood grain running up and down. It'll change how the model looks a whole lot. And that's it.